I warned my wife not to invite her boss to her birthday. I knew something was wrong the moment I saw the message. A simple notification on her lock screen. A name I had told her, calmly, without raising my voice, to keep out of our home, out of her life, out of us. Her boss. A man who smiled too long, stood too close, complimented too often, and lingered in conversations that should have ended 5 minutes earlier. The message flashed again as she walked out of the shower, humming softly, unaware that her phone had betrayed her. Can't wait for tonight. My chest tightened. Not with fear, not even with anger, but with that cold feeling, the one that comes before a storm breaks. The one that tells you the truth is already here, already alive, already eating through the walls of your life. She didn't see me reading it. She didn't see how still I went, how my fingers stopped mid-air, suspended like a man holding on to the last rope of reason. She walked past me, towel around her hair, smiling. "Big night, you ready?" she asked. Her birthday, her celebration, our home. My warning from weeks ago echoed inside me. Don't invite him. If he comes, you answer for it. She kissed my cheek like everything was normal, like nothing was spiraling between us. And in that moment, I realized something. This night wasn't going to save anything. It was going to expose everything. She brushed off my warnings back then, called me insecure, jealous, ridiculous. Funny how people weaponize the very instincts trying to protect them. I wasn't guessing, I wasn't imagining. I saw the way her eyes changed around him. Subtle softening, a sparkle she no longer gave me, or maybe one she never did. And he? He stared at her like a man shopping for something he already owned. But I stayed silent, because silence reveals more than questions ever do. The signs came slowly, stretched across weeks like a subtle poison. She worked late, stayed online at odd hours, smiled at texts she never opened near me. Once I walked in on her deleting an entire thread before I could see even a single word. She said it was office stuff. I nodded, because liars speak loudly, but truth whispers in patterns. Then came the birthday planning. She insisted on a big party, even though she hated crowds. New dress, new makeup, new perfume she'd never worn for me. She said it was a special night. I didn't question it. I had learned long ago that confrontation only gives the guilty time to hide their tracks. Instead, I watched, quietly, carefully, coldly. And when she said her boss might drop by just for a little while, her voice trembled. Not enough for most people to notice, but enough for me. She wasn't asking permission, she was asking forgiveness. My warning replayed in my mind. If he comes to your birthday, you'll know exactly what you've chosen. And she was choosing. Every day, every message, every lie coated in softness. By the evening of the celebration, I knew exactly what I was walking into. A truth she thought she could hide in a room full of people. The guests arrived first. Friends, neighbors, co-workers. Laughter filled the house, but underneath it all, a quiet dread lurked like smoke only I could smell. She looked beautiful, too beautiful, a little too perfect. Her dress hugged her in a way I hadn't seen in years, maybe ever. Her hair fell in soft waves. She floated through the room as if performing for someone watching, not me. And then it happened. The doorbell rang. Her breath caught. Barely, but I saw it. She smoothed her dress, tucked a loose strand of hair behind her ear, then checked her reflection in the hallway mirror before opening the door. She never did that for friends. He stepped inside, smiling, relaxed, confident in a way only someone who believes he belongs does. Their hug lasted 1 second too long. Her hand rested on his shoulder 1 second too gently. A small detail, but betrayal is built from small details. I greeted him with a stoic nod. He returned it with a smirk disguised as politeness. I watched them like a shadow watches a flame, waiting for the moment it burns itself out. He complimented her dress. She blushed. I memorized the shade of red. It wasn't mine. The night stretched on. They laughed quietly in corners, exchanged glances no one else noticed, moved with the subtle synchronization of people who shared something they shouldn't. And everyone else? Blind. But I wasn't. So I collected evidence in plain sight. Photos, angles, reflections in glasses, patterns in movement. I didn't confront. I didn't react. Reacting is for the weak. Instead, I analyzed, tracked, stored everything. People think revenge requires rage. No, revenge requires precision. By the time dessert was served, I had everything I needed. And she, still believing I was too trusting, too loving, too blind, was about to learn what it feels like to be seen clearly for the first time. The moment came quietly. The party thinned out. The music softened. The house settled into that late-night calm where shadows stretch longer and voices drop lower. She stood in the kitchen, laughing at something her boss whispered. He touched her arm. Her eyes softened. It wasn't sexual, not yet. But cheating begins long before lips meet. I stepped inside, silent. She froze. Her boss straightened, sensing something shift. I placed my phone on the counter, pressed play. Images appeared, photos from the night. Angles she didn't know I captured. Moments she thought were invisible. Her leaning into him, his hand brushing her waist. Her smile, too intimate, too familiar, too dangerous. She went pale. "This isn't what it looks like," she whispered. I nodded slowly. Then, "Explain it." She opened her mouth, closed it. Her boss stepped forward, clearing his throat. "Maybe you're misunderstanding." "Don't," I said. Just one word. Cold. Sharp enough to cut. He stepped back. Her eyes welled up, but tears mean nothing when the truth stands between two people like a wall of fire. I took out a second item, an envelope. Inside were printed messages I retrieved from a recovery app. Deleted threads she thought were buried forever. Flirtations, plans, late-night confessions. Her boss didn't deny them. He couldn't. She crumbled against the counter, breath shaking, face folding into horror. "You were supposed to trust me," she choked out. "I did," I replied. "You broke it." Silence swallowed the room. But I wasn't done, not even close. I didn't shout, I didn't accuse, I didn't ask her why. Why gives the guilty permission to rewrite history? Instead, I delivered consequences, clean, precise, emotionless. "I warned you," I said. "If he walked into this house tonight, you'd reveal the truth. And you have." She sank to the floor, gripping her head. Her boss looked at me with a fear he finally understood he'd earned. I took out a small folder. Inside, screenshots, printouts, a timeline of their messages. "I sent all of this," I said calmly, "to HR 2 hours ago." His face drained. "And," I continued, "to his wife." He staggered back. His mouth fell open. He whispered something like a prayer. But I wasn't speaking to him anymore. I crouched down beside my wife. "When trust dies," I murmured, "something else is born. Clarity." She reached for my hand. I stepped away. "You chose him," I said. "He'll choose himself. You'll learn that soon." My voice didn't rise. It didn't need to. The truth was louder than anything I could have shouted. I walked to the door and opened it. "For both of you," I said softly, "the night ends here." He left first, broken, ruined, stripped of every illusion. She crawled toward me, tears streaking her face. "I can fix this," she begged. "Please don't go." I looked down at her, at the woman I once loved, the woman who gambled with my loyalty and lost. "No," I whispered. "You can't. Then I walked out. The night air felt cold, clean, like something had finally been washed off my skin. Behind the door, I heard her crying, soft, broken sobs. A sound that might have shattered me once. Not anymore. Pain stops hurting when it turns into truth. And truth, once seen, can never be unseen. I walked down the driveway without looking back. Every step felt lighter, every breath clearer. I wasn't leaving her. She had left long before tonight. One text message, one lie, one moment at a time. All I did was acknowledge the departure. I reached my car, opened the door, paused. A strange calm settled in my chest, not peace, not relief, something colder, detachment, the kind that ends stories, the kind that begins new ones. As I drove away, I didn't think about her crying, or her boss losing everything, or the pieces left behind in that house. I thought about this. You can warn someone before they destroy everything, but you can't save someone who chooses the fire, and she chose it. The final truth settled inside me like a final, quiet breath. She lost me long before tonight. Tonight, she only realized it.